deputy speaker post, then they will not be contesting for the speaker post. So very interesting bit of news coming in. That's the demand that they have been making, that they want the deputy speaker for themselves. And they're saying that if there is some consensus that the opposition gets the post of a deputy speaker, then there will not be any contest for the speaker's post. Rajnath Singh, in fact, has been given that responsibility. He, in fact, has been trying to reach out to all of the opposition as far as building consensus is concerned on both the speaker and the deputy speaker's post. So what we're getting to hear is that the opposition is saying that they'll be more than satisfied if the deputy speaker post is given to them, and they have also given a guarantee that if that is settled, then they will not be contesting for the speaker's post. BJP leaders, it is learnt, has already spoken to the Congress chief Mallikarjun Kharge, Samajwadi Party president Akhilesh Yadav, DMK leader MK Stalin, and also Trinamool Congress chief Mamata Banerjee on this issue. So it's going to be very interesting to see which way the wind blows. I'm going to go straight across now to Payal for the very latest. Payal, so Rajnath Singh's outreach call has probably had some impact, with the opposition saying that if they are given, or if there is consensus around a deputy speaker, they are willing not to contest for the speaker's post. What are you hearing?
Well, to begin with, Avandika, the government has reached out to the opposition parties to actually seek consensus on the post of the Lok Sabha speaker, because everybody understands that it's a constitutional post and they do not want to see a contest happen over it as well. So that's the reason, probably the candidates of Om Birla, they were hoping would cut ice with the opposition parties. But very importantly, the opposition parties also want to strike a deal. They feel that they have the numbers in place right now. Congress has close to 100 numbers, not only to get a leader of the opposition post, but also a deputy speaker's post. Now, who remains the deputy speaker's, who claims the deputy speaker's post candidature, that remains to be seen within the India bloc. But they feel that if the consensus can be built and if they can actually be given the deputy speaker's post, and they're willing to, in fact, support the NDA candidature of the speaker's post. That's something which one has really seen what the opposition parties have claimed. But if at all the government says, like it was mentioned earlier, that the government wants to give that post to their allies JDU or TDP, then in that case, the Congress party and the opposition parties will put up a candidate both for Lok Sabha speaker as well as deputy speaker. That's what we are given to understand as of now in Parliament.
But is there some sort of agreement, or is there some consensus on the fact that if at all it has been agreed for a deputy speaker's post going to the opposition, that there will be no contest for the speaker's post? Have they arrived at least at that arrangement or agreement?
What they've been able to tell the government is this, that, you want support from us on the speaker's post. We are willing to give you that support, provided you do not break the norms and allow us to also get what is due to us. We are due to get the deputy speaker's post because we have the numbers in place, and that's exactly what we really want. So that's what the communication has been between several opposition leaders and, of course, Rajnath Singh, who represents the NDA government.
Absolutely. And what else are you hearing from your sources as far as the BJP is concerned? Now, the onus was given to Rajnath Singh. He's someone, Payal, that you were also talking about, is known to all of the opposition leaders. He's a veteran himself. He's known to take people along. He's also known to be the BJP's chief troubleshooter. Has he been able to, come to some sort of a conclusion with the opposition parties?
Well, Rajnath Singh has always given the tough task to speak to the opposition parties, and he's in fact done that very effectively. He's used his personal chemistry with those leaders, personal, respect that they have for him with these leaders. But what has been arrived at, we'll only know at about 12 o'clock this noon, because if the opposition parties do not put up a candidate, and if the NDA candidate goes unopposed, then you probably know that they probably agreed to what the opposition parties really have wanted, because nobody wants acrimony on the floor of the House every day. And we'll have to just wait and see. In probably an hour's time, we would really know, because as of now, there are a lot of back and forth talks that are happening within the political circle, especially within the BJP and led NDA and the opposition.
But there was some bitterness as far as the decision on the pro tem speaker is concerned. And, Payal, rarely has a speaker been elected without a consensus. If at all the deputy speaker's post doesn't go the opposition way, do you foresee perhaps some bitterness amongst the opposition and the government brewing before the parliament begins?
Well, this is a different opposition from 2014 and 2019, when the BJP enjoyed brute majority on their own. Into 2019, they had 303 seats on their own, which is way above the half mark, which is above the half, safely beyond the halfway mark as well. But, obviously, at this point in time, the NDA also understands that they are a coalition government. They'll have to, in fact, adjust a lot of people, have to accommodate a lot of people as well. But we'll just know in a bit from now, will it start on an acrimony? Because, you saw the opposition parties stand out with the constitution copy yesterday at the gate number the Makkar Dwar, which is the entry gate of the parliament, essentially reminding the government that, you've broken every rule in the book, you've taken everything for a ride, you've allowed whatever, it's either my way or the highway through the last 10 years, but now we have the numbers in place, so you will have to give us what is due. So, the leader of the opposition leader of the opposition post is due for the Congress party, which is nearly 100 numbers in terms of Lok Sabha MPs. And probably the deputy speaker post also is what the India Alliance can actually ask for. So let's see how this really goes. Whether the government wants to, start this on a accommodative move, or probably the government wants to just keep it just the way it was in 2014 and 2019, because that's going to be difficult for them to then run the house, because you have a full 5-year term to go.
Oh, absolutely. Government has fielded Defence Minister and the Parliamentary Affairs Minister Kiran Rijiju to try and build consensus on the choices for the Lok Sabha Speaker and Deputy Speaker's post. While do you know that who all have Rajnath Singh and Kiran Rijiju spoken to in the opposition so far?
They've spoken to all the opposition leaders, as what we are given to understand. Probably M.K. Stalin, who is also the DMK president, has been spoken to. Mamata Banerjee, who is the head of the TMC, has been spoken to. Several leaders within the opposition rank. Mallikarjun Kharge, being the Congress president, is what also somebody that, he's been able to speak to. That's what we are given to understand. And you also earlier, Kiran Rijiju going and meeting not just Mallikarjun Kharge, but also meeting Sudip Bandyopadhyay also a couple of days ago. That actually tells you that the government is showing a message. They're showing them an olive branch and telling them that yes, Parliament belongs to everyone, like the Prime Minister said, that he wants substance and not just sloganeering in Parliament, but just it cannot be a mere lip service. They'll have to walk the talk also, is what the opposition parties are saying.
Oh, absolutely. Pallavi joins us also. Pallavi, the deadline to file nomination for the post of the Lok Sabha Speaker is 12 p.m. today. Will the government be able to build enough consensus on these very important posts?
See, first of all, the proceedings have just begun, so I guess anytime now we can expect that official announcement to take place. In terms of sheer numbers, the NDA certainly has nothing to be worried about. But just as we saw during the presidential elections, in this important election as well, I guess the government wants to reach out to the other side to try and make the choice unanimous. That usually does not happen. As of now, the India bloc has not been forthcoming on whether they are going to go and support and vote for the choice of the Speaker by the NDA. But having said that, what sources have been telling us is that they're not very comfortable with the idea of, say, an Om Birla being made the Speaker once again, because they have doubts about his non-partisan attitude. They've often complained that it was during his time a record number of MPs were suspended. Over 145 MPs were suspended, and that too from the opposition. So they think that the Speaker as well as the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha both speak in the voice of the government, of the BJP, and therefore why do you expect us to support? The second point that they're making is, and the demand is, that Deputy Speaker was not there in 2019. That election did not take place. You have to announce a Deputy Speaker. That is something which should go out to the opposition. So if you really mean that you care for the opposition parties, you want to have the business of the house to run smoothly, all you need to do is walk the talk and give that position this time round to the opposition parties.
Oh, absolutely. Now, rarely, Pallavi, has a speaker been elected without a consensus. Is there a threat of a contest? I know the jury is still out there on who is going to be the speaker and the deputy speaker, but what are you hearing from your sources?
If you're asking me whether India bloc is in a mood to support the speaker candidate of the NDA, well, as of now, they're deeply divided, but unanimously almost no. First of all, there was no consensus. There were some views within the India bloc that possibly they should put up their own candidate because they don't have the numbers, but at least you send out a message that we're gearing up for a fight. Again, because there was no consensus, there's been no clarity from there, and unlikely that they may put up a candidate, but definitely their demand is going to be on the deputy speaker. Again, we come back to the same question: would they want to support an Om Birla? Well, they do have their grudges against him. They are also aware that the numbers are stacked in favor of the NDA, so the NDA's choice gets to become the speaker. But I think the past will catch up. It will kind of reflect in the proceedings of 2024 Lok Sabha proceedings. This is a different one. It's certainly a more belligerent, ambitious opposition parties. And given the fact that they were never happy with the working style of Om Birla because they felt that he was playing favourites, he was speaking the voice of the BJP, I think it may not be a smooth relationship, but a lot of efforts will be made by Om Birla also to try and reach out, in case he's the choice, Avantika, to reach out to opposition parties.